Good morning, everybody. Great to see you. And let's start, as we normally do, with prayer. Thank you, Father God, for this week. We thank you that you know exactly the situation we are in and that you see the way forward. We put our pathway into your hands and ask you to lead us. So be it. So we have channels on TikTok, Rumble, YouTube and Facebook. November the 30th, we will be marching. Some are marching on the 29th, some are marching on the 29th and the 30th, but we are marching on the 30th. We support March for Australia with Mackay Freedom. This is not her march, but we don't actually align ourselves with the organisers of the march, but when the people in Mackay want to march, and we do, we get messages, and a date is well known nationally, we take advantage of that. So the 30th of March, 11:45 for a 12 o'clock march. So it was Remembrance Day this week, and I heard that at Mount Pleasant, normally when you're shopping everything just goes on as normal, but I have heard that this week at Mount Pleasant everything stopped for a minute, which I think is absolutely wonderful. I hope that's true. I have no reason to doubt it, but I think that's wonderful. So this morning we are going to stand for a minute as a mark of respect to remember those who sacrificed so much for us. Okay, thank you. And why do we do that? Because our fathers and grandfathers and forefathers have fought wars for us that meant that we have kept our freedom up until this point, and we honour them by continuing to fight for our freedom. I know that they all sacrificed. Those who weren't physically injured came back injured anyway, emotionally, mentally, and they were never ever the same. My dad fought in the Middle East for 2 years. My Uncle George was killed by our own government with the mustard gas experiments on the Atherton tablelands. And to me, I had someone say to me this week, "Oh, just give up, we've lost." No, we haven't lost. We haven't lost. People power has already given a little bit of a back down to the ID with the under 16. So the more we stand up, the more it will have. Now, they sacrificed for our freedom. To me, it would be a slap in the face for all of those men if we just gave up and let our freedoms be taken away. So, if for no other reason, out of respect for these men, we stand up and we take our ground and we keep our freedom. So let's talk about thinking. Just think about it for a minute. We often say, "Oh, she's really intelligent," or "He's really intelligent." What is intelligence? To me, it's more than the amount of knowledge you have in your head. To me, it's the way you think. Are you a critical thinker? Do you question things? Or do you just believe? Well, heaven help us if you believe the media, but do you just believe what you're told? Or do you actually question it? Do you listen to your gut? in our society, we've been taught not to listen to our gut, just do what we're told and, get on with it. But I'm just going to share my story. I don't talk about me often, but I'm going to share my short story with the beginnings of COVID. I was in Melbourne. I got stuck down there for 3 months, which was wonderful because I was with my son and daughter-in-law, and we had a great time actually. But we were the very few who did. And I remember standing at my son's kitchen bench, and I heard on the radio that hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin had been banned. Red flag, everyone, red flag. I thought, these are drugs that have been tried, tested and true for decades. So I got back on the computer and I checked all that, I researched it all, and immediately from that second on, I knew it was all a fraud, because no government who cared for its people would be taking away the drugs that help them get better. So, of course, then I didn't take the vaccine, and that's not putting down anyone who did. That coercion is not consent. It is not consent. We have people in our group who did take it, and there's absolutely no division between us whatsoever. I didn't. I actually retired in May 20, which was perfect timing for me. And so later on, I started, I wouldn't have any part in it. I never owned a mask. I had the legislation in my bag, so when the police picked me up for not having a mask, I could show them that, and they had to walk away and leave me alone. But I started researching the death toll then. And I researched the death toll in England, Canada, America, New Zealand and Australia. And the first 12 months of the pandemic, not one of those countries had a rise in death toll, when we were being told hundreds of thousands of people were dying of COVID. It's just crazy. They did not rise at all. And when did they start to rise? When they brought in the untested so-called vaccination. And I looked it up. The Australian Bureau of Statistics actually states there was no rise in the death toll in the first 12 months of the pandemic. Oh, sorry, they said pandemic. So it's always pandemic for me. I would lie if I said they said pandemic. And I thought, yeah, righto, well, this is really interesting. And then I watched with every jab, the death toll gets higher and higher and higher and higher. And we know that the death toll is still growing. So that's thinking. I'm no smarter than the average person, but we think about it. We listen to our gut and think, something they're saying about this isn't right. Look at the digital ID, and what's coming, what they're planning to bring upon us. My gut tells me it's not right, so I research it, and I find out where it's leading, and I think, oh my gosh, if everyone would only research, no one would take that digital ID. No one. If you lost your job, you lost your job. Many lost it over the vaccine. Many will lose it over the ID if we get that far with it. So then, of course, I already knew that at schools it was coming in. The kids are not being taught how to think. They're being taught what to think. We know that here in Mackay, in a school, I think it was the Year 9 students were told to write, do an assignment on the vaccines, just vaccines, measles vaccine mainly, and the only research they were given was a booklet that was made up by the teachers, put together by the teachers. So one child, who obviously is a critical thinker, went away and did his research and wrote, quoting the TGA, quoting all sorts of statistics about this, and obviously it's not what was expected. He was given a D or an E because he did not write what he was meant to write. He wrote what the truth was. So, and the teachers actually kept his to show around in EQ to show kids how not to write an assessment. And I'm thinking, well, that is awesome, you stupid idiots. If that's what you think it's going to do, some kids are going to actually read that and think, well, gee, he's got a point here. And I know when I quote things, I'll get messages. I won't use some of the language that's used on me, but, you know, you stupid fool, you know, all your fear-mongering. Come back to me with evidence to prove me wrong. I've given you the evidence. I've given you legislation. I've given you the evidence, ABS statistics. You come back and prove what we're saying is wrong. Not once has any one of those people got back to me. Not once. They just suddenly stopped attacking me. So, you know, let's go a little bit further with this, because I know I used to think that the government was there to look after us. We probably all did at one stage. Do we think it now? We do not think it now. In fact, we know it is not there to look after us. So intelligent people think. Intelligent people research. And you don't have to have a high IQ to do that. You do not have to have a high IQ. All you have to do is think and look these things up. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're being told. Look into the digital ID, and I swear to you, if you see what's behind that digital ID, you will never, ever take it. So we are standing, and we are standing firm. So, thank you.